Squirrelcore here, and today we are covering integrated dynamics. This is a mod about reading information from blocks, entities, just the world in general, and who knows how much else. Taking that information and performing tasks with it to assist in automation. What it does not do is transfer items on its own, fluids. It's not a storage mod. It's not a replacement to AE or something like that, which I believe a few people initially thought it might be. It's not about manipulating the world. It's about manipulating information so that you can give an output to alter the world. Now, to give you a small idea of what it is, one of the biggest annoyances I actually have in when working in these worlds is I'm constantly typing in /weather clear or /time set day. This command block is making it day. When it's night, that one will make it day, and when it's raining, this one will put out the rain. And this is all being done with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks, or 6, 7 blocks rather, all fit within a 4-block area, which also means that this mod has a multi-part compatibility, which is just one of the many bits of compatibility that are implemented. Actually, there's not much implemented yet, I don't believe, but there's a lot planned. And it kind of just works with a lot of mods. So this first video is going to be an introduction. I'm going to cover just how to get started and the bare basics of the mod. Then we're going to go into the various readers, the various writers, and in the advanced features, which is what's actually needed to make something like this work. That will cover things like the variable store. Now, to start with, this mod has WorldGen. I always spell it inter, but it's technically INTE. I actually am dyslexic, so my spelling skills are terrible. Integrated dynamics. So what you need is, here, I'll show you the tree that you want to find. Let's get a bit of dirt. Seems to be a tiny bug related to creative, to like rows like this, super flat world. There we go, yeah. So this seems to be working a bit better. You will find trees that look like this. They spawn a little bit funny with the leaves near very flat ground, but that upper part is what they'll typically look like all the way down. These are mineral logs or mineral trees, and as their leaves decay, they will drop mineral berries and mineral saplings. The berries are used to craft a torch, among other things. So you need the berries, so you're going to be farming a lot of these trees, but the real valuable part is actually these logs. What you're going to need, you're going to need a drying basin and a squeezer. Actually, these need to be right next to each other to work correctly. So there we go. And we're going to want a button, because that's my preferred way of generating a short pulse of redstone. So what you need to do is you need to put this in here, and then you jump on top of the squeezer. I find one annoyance is these corners on the squeezer. Sometimes I get stuck on them. But you jump, and when it goes all the way down, you'll get 1 bucket worth of mineral resin, which will go into the drying basin, and you will get a block of crystallized mineral. This is used to craft the majority of the mod, and anything that this isn't used to craft in the mod is crafted using these shards. There's a couple recipes offered by the Squeezer and the Drying Basin. The Drying Basin offers a couple, 2 pages of recipes that are kind of neat. I highly suggest you take a look at what these recipes are. And the Squeezer has about 10 pages of quite useful recipes, which I highly suggest you look into what these recipes are. It also seems to detect if there are dusts from other mods, from ores, and lets you crush them. There's a fair bit of compatibility with EvilCraft involved here, and considering they're made by the same developer, it does not surprise me. So, we're just going to clean up the ground here. Now then, so once you have that, you can start to build a network. Now, building your network, I find it I find it actually quite easy to understand how the network goes together. Because all you really need is a wrench, some cable. We're going to want display panels to understand what we're doing, and you always need variable cards to route the information. Now, there's things like proxies, there's things like the materializer. This mod can be set to use RF. That feature is disabled by default. It's disabled for the sake of this because I always use the default configs, but there's also currently a bug which I have reported that can cause a bit of a crash related to me just showing you the generator and the energy battery with it all disabled. It might also work with it when it is disabled. I haven't tested quite yet for that. But here's what we got. So what you need to do is the cable. Now I'm going to show you just a tiny bit about this. So the wrench has 2 uses. First of all, you can right click cable to separate them. This is how you can have 2 separate networks run beside each other, and you can shift right click to instantly break 90% of this mod. This mod is very work in progress, so now that we're actually showing some of the features, I should point that out. Though, by my understanding, the way things currently stand mechanically are not planned to change, and it's going to be more additive and bug fixing here on out. Now, to give you a good idea of what there is, let's go with a redstone reader. And let's get out an inventory reader. And let's put a redstone writer. Actually, we're going to want 2 writers just so I can show you a little bit about how this works. So, this one line here is more than enough. This is going to be the end that we put the outputs on, which we'll put here and here. I want a couple pieces of redstone for this one, and I want a redstone lamp for this one. And we're going to put down an inventory reader here and a redstone reader here. This is so I can show different types of information being managed, and we're going to put these here. I got variable cards, so all is good. We also want a chest. We're going to use a non-vanilla chest just to show that there's mod compact. You know what? Copper chest is often shown. It's iron chest. Everybody trusts those to just work with everything. Let's go as a bit of a hungry chest, shall we? And what we want to do is you will see all of these aspects. Now what I want is inventory. Maybe do I have to type not inventory not empty? There we go. That's what it is. I want an inventory not empty, and I want that on a variable card. And I want right here redstone. Is that not how it works? Yeah, I have to go right down here. And I want one card of this, which is a redstone integer. I will talk about the different types in a moment. And we want a lever to put here. Now I want to make copies of these because I actually need more in one place. This recipe just lets you copy them. You can also place them in there just to pull out a blank variable card if you need to for some reason. Let's see here. What I need now is this goes here, this goes there. This goes here, this goes here. Needs to go down a slot. And so we can see over there that lamp will turn on when this is not empty. As you can see, the lamp is turned on. This is true because it's a Boolean, and this doesn't just have to. Is this not working? Aspect is night. Not object output type. Oh, that's not working. Here, we can fix this very, very quickly. I thought that would work, but apparently it doesn't want to. Ashking. Let's see. Let's just. Just ignore this for a moment. Not. Welcome to typos. There we go. Little idea of what can be done, assuming you don't get typos. Okay. So we're also going to show how I can transfer an integer. This is a redstone power of 14. This one here is 14. Let's actually make this a bit. This is now 6. That says 6. This is 6. Now it will be exactly this. So yes. Now there are other types, and I can actually show them best with this, the logic programmer. You'll see there's Boolean. Skip over there. There's integer. There's more Boolean, more integer. There's also string, lists. There's a block, item, and fluid. More integer. There should be, and then there's double. Now, to give you the idea of the differences between them, Boolean is true or false. It is just a yes or no type question. Is it raining? Yes. Is it clear? No. Like it's the easiest one to understand. Like right here, we know that this inventory is not empty. It's true that this is not empty. No, it's false. This is the easiest way to demonstrate Boolean. It's the easiest to understand. It's a yes or no question. Then there's integers, which is -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can go negative in the same amount distance as you could go positive, which is infinitely. An integer is any number without a decimal place. A double is a number with a decimal place. So 2.1 is a decimal, or 2.0 is or is a double, whereas just 2 is an integer. Then there is string, which is, well, there's a string on every one of these signs. A string could be a string of letters, numbers, symbols, whatever. It's just a list. And then there's a list, which is a list of information, which, well, list. This actually does show a list. Get a list out of it. Let's just do this. There we go. Just to display the list easily. This is a list. It is very self-explanatory. It is a list of things. People who are familiar with arrays might want to think of it as with program might want to think of it as an array. That's actually how I think of it. Lists are arrays. This entire mod will make very, very simple sense to you if you're familiar with programming. And if you're not, well, it might be a bit more difficult to understand, but you should be able to figure it out. It's very much block programming, as I like to call it, where you don't actually have to type out the lines of code, you just have to give it the logic. You're just moving blocks around, or in this case, items into blocks, and reading information from blocks. But this here is a very simple understanding of how your network works. I just want to give a very simple demonstration of what this mod could do, what this mod is, and how to get started. In the next episode, we are going to jump through the different readers. I'm going to do it fairly briefly. I'm going to cover a tiny bit of compatibility features in here, I think. Writers will be another video in and of themselves, and then we are going to go into advanced features. I will say now that I am going to be skipping over the pipe related stuff that has to do with a mod called Charset, which I did not immediately understand it at a glance. I don't want to learn the pipe system, and right now, mostly because I feel that in and of itself is a video. It's a pipe system I've never seen before, and it would delay this video possibly by a week. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video.